What's the telescope they're talking about putting up? That's supposed to be a lot better than the Hubble. It's going to be...
Is that the one they put in your bloodstream?
Yeah.
Yes,
that was a little bigger.
Yes,
James Webb Space Telescope.
Is there there's some kind of triangulation or something? It's going to be between the sun and the Earth?
I hope so.
But you know the one I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yes. Where is it going to be?
In space.
Okay, I thought it was going to be much farther away than the Hubble.
It will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still technically in space.
Yeah, it'll be in space.
Okay.
That's about as far as I can give you an answer. I know it's in space.
Do you think there's any...
Bad things happen to our physiology when we're in space, and we need to understand that and some other things better. But the space station is about research, and we did over 400 different experiments while I was on board in the year Misha and I were on the space station.
How close are they to coming? Sorry, these little... They talk about these little computers that they're going to put inside that kind of patrol your blood system to stop cancers and things like that, because if you're gone for 3 years, there's no way for you to get to a doctor or a hospital. So how medically advanced are they?
Well, I've never heard about that.
I just made that up then? I really thought that was a real thing.
No, that's future Jim.
Sounds like a
again.
great idea, though. Maybe you can patent that.
But I'm so glad. Dude, you have no idea how much of his bullshit technology theories he spouts off on this show. I am so glad you just said, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, he doesn't want to tell me because he knows. No,
I see. You sound like Troy now.
No, but no, I'm teasing. But nanotechnology, that's one of those things where they're saying for space travel, it gets so much of this stuff advanced because these guys will need it if they're gone for 3 years.
He's a spaceman. He's never heard of what you're talking about, dude.
Sorry. I had to pull away from the mic for a second.
What, were you going to sneeze?
I was going to sneeze, and I didn't want to be rude to your
listeners. He pulled away, and he did this thing where he just touched his nose, almost like a mob signal, and then he just came back without sneezing.
Only astronauts can do that. It's an astronaut trick, because you sneeze in space, whatever comes out, it keeps going.
Have you done that?
Of course.
That's amazing.
There for a year.
Yeah. Stupid question, right?
After my little computer's in the bloodstream, I got nothing. I thought that was a home run question.
What was it? I tried to tell you. I would have told you it's not a home run question.
I've heard of astronauts that have actually gotten scared during their first spacewalks. It feels like you're just falling.
Yeah, you are falling. You're falling around the Earth, and you're going 17,500 miles an hour, and the Earth is 250 miles below. It's challenging both physically and mentally, because you're in the suit for over 10 hours. You have to pay 100% attention all the time, and it can be scary.
Do you have to mentally condition your body to know that you're not falling?
Well, you are falling, as you just said.
I'm
sorry, he doesn't listen.
Mentally condition your body. That's interesting. That'd be great if you could do that. Mentally
Sam, I apologize. Imagine if there were little computers that could go into your bloodstream and help condition your body.
That's absolutely insane. But the mental conditioning of the body?
No, I mean mentally tell your body, don't worry, you're not falling, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know when you have a feel,
you are falling. You are falling.
Oh, I wish.
Why would you?
I wish, Jim. I wish that you could have helped me here.
All objects
you hold your arm up to your mouth and you say, "Make believe you're not falling."
No.
Just all objects are falling at the same speed.
Yes.
That's why they float in front of you.
Yeah.
See, we've talked about this before. Other astronauts, of course I do.
I mean, the idea that there are times in life when you panic, but there's no reason to panic. But your body is panicking, but mentally you have to calm yourself down.
Absolutely.
You don't need to panic, right?
Yeah.
So
That's not what you were asking before.
But I'm saying I'm equating that to this idea that your body thinks you're falling, but
you
your
are
mind,
falling.
But your mind.
Basically, the question would be: you're falling 17,000.
No, I've never thrown up in space. I did throw up one time when I got back after being in space for 6 months. After being in space for a year, I didn't throw up. I wish I could have.
Sure.
But
how come you wish you could have?
I just, how when you throw up, you feel better afterwards.
Gotcha.
Sometimes?
You felt like you felt sick, but you just couldn't do anything about it.
What do they do for motion sickness? I mean, is there anything special that an astronaut will do?
Oh, we have medication. I mean, I've given people shots in space before of, certain kinds of motion sickness medication. Forget the
Not
Dramamine, a little stronger.
Yeah, something stronger. Just give a person a shot in their butt and
There was a scene, I don't know if it was in Do the Right Stuff or one of those where they're training.
That was Do the Right Thing.
Do the Right Thing?
Or The Right Stuff.
The Right Stuff,
But
you know
Do
what?
the Right Stuff.
Well, I put them both together.
Yes.
That's where Radio Raheem goes into space.
That's right. I love that one.
There's a where they're training for motion sickness, and they put you in this in this weird thing that goes all these crazy directions.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? Did you go through that training?
Never at NASA, but the Russians do that, and I did it just for fun one time.
Was
And
it fun?
how did they make you feel? Did they make you sick, or do you not get sick doing it?
I was fine with it. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's fun, though.
Yeah.
How does it train you for motion sickness just by making you sick?
We don't actually use it at NASA, so I don't think there's much
Maybe the
much
idea
to it.
is that you get used to it, but that's probably not true. Like if you get motion sickness, you get motion sickness, right?
Well, the fact that you have to operate machinery under the G-force you have to as you're taking off, that's like the most amazing thing to me is you guys are, I don't know what the G's are when you're taking off, but you still have to do all these calculations and flick the right knob and do all this.
Yeah.
It's easy for some people, Jim.
It sure is.
For you, it'd be. I look, Jim. I'm going to tell you the truth. I think it'd be very difficult for me too.
You're on my side.
I'm on your
at
side
point,
on that
yes.
one. That does seem. It honestly does seem amazing.
For an astronaut, flicking the knobs is old hat.
For me,
You got to be a good knob flicker.
No,
Yeah.
I am. I should be fucking something that funny that I can't think of.
Jim is an all-time knob flicker.
Yeah, bet I am.
And you should see the G-forces that thrust into him. So 8 months is about. 8 months is about.
Yeah, what takes the longest is when you're living on the space station, you're in this closed, very controlled environment, and you have this schedule that tells you what to do basically all the time. And then when you live that way for a year, in my case, nearly a year, and then you get home and you don't have that anymore, and it feels like, what am I, just a little bit directionless and lost, actually.
Yeah, I guess like the normal take for granted things start to feel chaotic because everything's not so uniform and structured.
It's probably a similar effect as people once they leave prison.
Mm-hmm.
And they no longer have this schedule and no one telling them what to do, when to do it.
Yeah, you always hear about the guys that like spend all these years in prison and they get out and they just want to go back. Like they're just more comfortable.
Because they get used to the
life.
structure and knowing what was going to happen every minute of every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably different stuff in space, but it's the same point.
What do you mean?
Well, you can shower in space comfortably.
How could you shower in space?
Well, I mean, you guys do shower, don't you?
No.
Just wash?
We rub the dirt around a little bit. make you feel better about yourself.
How long does it take to get used to sleeping? Like the floating sleeping seems like that'd be the hardest part.
It's hard.
It is, right?
Yeah.
What do you do? Because your head is not resting on anything.
It's floating on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Well, it's floating on your neck, I guess.
Yeah, because nothing is keeping anything in place. So you don't wash it all when you're in space?
You take a sponge bath.
Yeah.
It's maybe like if
like
you're
a gas
camping.
station, like a gas station bath.
I've never taken the gas station.
Well, we got a
bath.
lot of truckers listening.
Yeah, they understand.
Yeah, they get it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, similar to that.
Do people start to stink in space?
Not any worse than you do.
I wouldn't want to be.
So if you're all, I think if you're all smelling the same, by definition, no one smells bad.
I guess so. I just don't know if I'd want to be trapped in such close
You
quarters.
stink, just like me.
Yeah.
Are all your communications with your wife and your family also read? Do you have private communications or are all of them monitored?
They say it's private. I sure hope so, right?
Yeah.
You don't believe it?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'd be
It's
reading
the
it.
internet, right?
Yeah.
Lives somewhere, I'm sure.
Well, is it hard being, I mean, you're not sexual for a year. That's got to be difficult for every person to go up and not be sexual for a year.
What time is this show over?
Well, we got a long time.
Yeah, how do you manage that?
I mean, technically, you could be sexual in space.
Well, yeah,
but
I mean,
physically, I'm saying it's possible.
Yeah.
So I just don't want
But
you
if
to
you're
make
a married person and you're up in space without your partner, it's just got to...
Well, there's self-gratification.
Oh, of course. Yeah, so you only know when this is happening because he yells duck.
But Jim, don't ask about it.
I won't.
It's classless.
I think my mic is broken.
But back to your question, Jim. I'm sorry for interrupting.
How do you manage that? Or
Different reasons.
What is the mental testing like before you go up? Do they have you doing? I saw someone would have you doing like all these tasks where you're cutting these little things out, and it's just to see if you can do tedious work over and over. That's
You guys do origami?
I was going to ask that. It sounds like origami.
It was something like that, yeah. But they said I forget. It might have been in Chris's Hatcher's book.
Did they have the same? Were they putting computers in their blood and then doing origami?
He and I talked a long time about that. Yeah, he said they only tell the smarter astronauts.
You didn't have to do origami before you went in space?
No.
That's cool.
What do they do to test you for that, though? Because to be able to work under pressure like that.
You know, when I was interviewed, we did a bunch of written tests, like multiple choice. Some were clearly psych tests. I found out later, years later, that one of the other tests was an IQ test.
Wow.
And I didn't even realize it was an IQ test, so I don't even know what that tells you about my IQ if I didn't even know I was taking an IQ test.
Did you find out how you scored?
I was told I passed.
That's about
He was in space for a year. He did good. You did good.
Yeah.
The president needs to be a lot quieter, but send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
He was kind of joking.
He was, but yes, he was joking.
But his fucking pigeon head movement, that Bush head movement.
When you have opponents,
He's a dud.
the
guy's a dud.
What a bummer.
It's like if I asked him where's a telescope and he just went in space.
total dud.
A total dud.
Like somebody that you're just struggling to have a conversation with.
God.
You're like, all right, Jeb, let's bring up masturbating in space to get through
What
this.
else do you want us to do, Jeb?
Yeah, come on.
I mean,
Jeb.
obviously, none of us are scientists here. We're just going to ask you little space questions.
Yeah, sorry, Jeb. I think Jim and I will just make fun of each other for a while to get through this because we're struggling here, Jeb.
Yeah.
You're low energy. Pete Davidson got that guy with the eye patch to victory.
Really?
Oh, yeah, Crenshaw won. And I don't know, maybe he was already the favorite, but I can't imagine the outrage over the joke that Pete Davidson made hurt him one iota.
Right. Well, say it better than that.
I apologize for the for the pun. Really distasteful pun.
Telescope's going to be in space.
You're annoyed at that guy, huh?
No, he was okay. He was just fucking digging.
Yeah.